Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Triple Threat Wrestling. I am with the boys MVP in Wrestling Brotha, and it's time for a new podcast episode. I thought it'd be good to have a conversation. So, if you're listening to this right now, you're watching it, however you want to do it, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. You may hate everything we're going to say. I have no idea, but I wrote down some topic points. I sent you guys in a text. We got to talk about what TKO is doing at WWE. And more importantly, what that does to us as wrestling fans, right? So the first thing I wrote down is creative risks are getting smothered by corporate caution. So like the creative freedom, like forget about it. I mean, when Vince was running things, we would complain about the booking all the time, but at least WWE still felt like WWE. Now with TKO looking over everything, there's this layer of corporate polish on top of the product. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Segments feel overproduced. Storylines are written to be brand friendly, like Slim Jim tables and prime ladders and all this stupid shit, right? And instead of actually being compelling, and it looks like they go for the safe bet, right? It's always the safe bet. Like it's the same people we see all over the place around each other. Seth Rollins and Jey Uso and CM Punk and all these like LA Knight. They've been like this circle of people, and they just constantly rotate matches, and we don't try anything fresh. Before I go into more notes, what do you guys think? I don't want to just talk a lot.
I mean, yeah, anytime you have the corporate monster that's that's driving the machine, it's all about the money and whoever sells
Mhm.
the merch. We know Jey Uso selling merch. We know Seth Rollins is a safe bet. We know, even as controversial as bringing Brock Lesnar back can be from a moral standpoint, um, we know he draws. And they know that people want to see. Even with the controversy behind him, it's still going to sell. Even the controversy alone can possibly sell. So of course you put him opposite of John Cena. Like, come on, that's a safe bet, right?
Mhm.
But I think the disservice is to everything that they've done from like a farming system perspective, right? Like you've got LFG, you got NXT, but are we really taking a chance on a lot of those people? And it can be argued. I think they did a good job with uh, bringing Julia and Stephanie Vaquer and Roxanne Perez to the main roster. But what what prospect have we seen from the men in the past 3 years or so that has really, come through a farming system like that and really flourished? You had Carmelo Hayes drafted number one to SmackDown, and
Mhm.
what has he done? We finally got a Mellow sighting last night with
Mhm.
Miz,
Yep.
but I think it's burying him even being with the Miz because they just do that stupid shit every
Mhm.
week. Uh, I'm off him and all that. Like it to me, it waters down his character. So like, there's so much talent now that can be pushed, and there can be quality things being done with the product and creative directions that can go different ways. Like you brought our truth back for what?
Yeah.
Like he hasn't done shit since cutting his hair. And it's to your point that they're afraid they got to play the safe bet. Like if we go all in on Ron Killings, what if people don't want to watch that shit? Or what if what if they do?
Right. What do you got,
Well,
MVP?
I want to piggyback on the farm system stuff. It just seems like nowadays with their relationship with TNA, all the focus on their farm system has been just collaborating with them. Maybe I don't know. Do they have plans on maybe purchasing a TNA later down the road, or
Hmm.
because if that isn't the case, I don't know. As a developmental system, what they're actually doing with NXT, like Trick Williams, he should be on his way up now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's still fucking around with TNA. He's the TNA champion.
Yeah.
what what's the point in that? With the exception of like Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, nothing has really gone on with the farm system. So yeah, TKO is just going with their heavy hitters and just like you said, rotating them. Yeah, no creative risks at all. At the same time, if they gave too much creative liberties, we could be seeing a corporately ran AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you got to think about their safe bets. Like, why did Stephanie Vaquer get called up? We know she's talented. She's one of the best in the ring right now. But it's her little moves that she does that they think appeal to the guys, and that's why we got to bring her up. And I'm not discrediting her and saying it's not because of her talent. She's definitely talented, but there's other things with her that come with a package that is a safe bet for them. They know mostly guys watch wrestling, right? So, well, they're going to like to see that, right? So let's bring her up. But other than that, like the shock debuts or insane like endings to shows, we don't see that much anymore. Like, I mean, we did see like Seth Rollins, right? But you know, the magic is kind of gone because people kind of predicted it, and it just kind of had the writing on the wall that I was kind of going to be a work. But it's just every move has to be a safe enough bet for the shareholders and the advertisers and the TV partners, and if there's even a chance of like short-term backlash, it gets dropped. And if you're not a guaranteed money maker, they don't focus on you. And I'm looking at you, Karrion Kross, because they don't focus on you because you're not that guaranteed lock, right? So,
but he is.
Oh yeah,
every friggin' crowd is just begging them to do something with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
and
him and Scarlett is a package. The freaking money there.
When you talk about creative risk, think about SummerSlam and both nights, right? So to your point, Travis, like you were texting me like Seth is coming out right now. Like, come on, like we knew it. What about had you flip the endings of both nights to where instead of the cash in happening on the first night with Gunther, have the Brock Lesnar spot. Brock Lesnar comes in and attacks CM Punk. Because and then the next night you have the Seth Rollins cash in because now it's a little unpredictable because we're all expecting him to cash in on CM Punk. No, he cashes in on John Cena or he cashes in on Cody Rhodes or whatever. That's how you add that shock factor and do something out of left field and still do both business on both things. I mean, just because Brock Lesnar comes in F5's Gunther and CM Punk doesn't mean he can't face John Cena somewhere down the line at Survivor Series or whatever, right?
yeah.
But you leave some oh shit moments like they really swerved us tonight.
Yep. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I mean, Seth and CM Punk have done what they can do for now. I mean, I get
They've had too many freaking matches already.
So the story is what? CM Punk gets redemption at Mania maybe and gets his title back. We should separate them for a while.
Yep.
So having Seth cash in on Cena and go to SmackDown would have made way more sense. Now, fresh matches. Seth Rollins versus, Cody Rhodes or Drew McIntyre or fresh matches. But no, we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso and Sami Zayn and LA Knight we saw on Monday and CM Punk. And it's like the same recycled all the way to War Games. It's going to be the Vision versus whoever CM Punk's team is in War Games. I can already tell you,
And then I was even thinking like, for that happening, it can be like Brock was Seth's plan B to keep the title off of Punk. But I really want the real world title. I want the universal title. And it writes a natural story because of Paul Heyman's history with Brock Lesnar. He called in a favor. Like, you could make it make sense very easily and give us a shock factor.
But instead, they think that doesn't make sense. But John Cena just randomly, I hate you guys, but you know what? I like you guys. I'm sorry about that.
Yep.
Big event syndrome is killing the weekly TV. TKO looks at WWE like it's UFC. Like you got the big tent pole matches and everything else is just kind of there to hype them up. And the problem is WWE is not UFC. It's not that. It's not this. All the big shit happens at PLEs. we watch every week. You're about to put, the PLEs on ESPN streaming, which is more money. But I also got to pay for Netflix for Raw. Why am I going to pay for Netflix if you're not going to show me anything on Raw? If I'm not going to see anything productive, then why? I'll just wait for the PLE. And SmackDown is the same thing. You got to have cable, right? You got to pay. I don't know how much your cable is. Mine is in Chicago is like damn near $300. So
that's why I got rid of mine.
Yeah. So if I'm only paying for that as a wrestling fan, because I don't really watch anything else, I work and all that, I'm not paying that to watch a boring ass SmackDown, right? But now you watch Raw and SmackDown, and half the time it feels like a 3-hour commercial break for the next PLE. Like storylines crawl for weeks, then all the big stuff happens in one night. And I mean, sure, the PLEs look amazing, but as fans, it feels like nothing matters until those shows. So I should just skip the programming then. Right. Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think? Is that accurate? Like, is the weekly TV like filler kind of killing it?
Well, it has to when you have these months where you have back to back to back to back PLEs or special events. There was a time where it was like Backlash, and then you've got Saturday night's main event, then you got Night of Champions, then you got Evolution, then you got another Saturday night's main event. It's and they're already trying to plan for Clash in Paris with the Stephanie Vaquer qualifying for that, and we haven't even got past SummerSlam. So it leaves them in there's nowhere else to go but to just have kind of crappy shows that are felt rushed because oh crap, we've got to book this, and oh crap, we've got to book that. So it is just filler. And I remember kind of back in the WWE Network days, there was a hard brand split at one time where you had SmackDown and then you had Raw, and they were completely separate brands. You had a PLE every couple of weeks, but it felt fresh because there was 4 weeks on the SmackDown side to build it up, and there was 4 weeks out on the Raw side to build it up. So it felt different. But when you pretty much have no brand split, and to y'all's point, you're just bringing in the same people. It's gonna be Cena versus somebody. It's gonna be Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa again. It's gonna be LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. You have those same people in those same matches, and you throw a couple women's matches out there. Who's Rhea gonna be in the ring with? That's what you're working with. So you have all this programming to push the same 11 people.
Yeah. You got anything on that, Matt?
It goes back to what Attitude Era, or maybe slightly after it, like into the Ruthless Aggression Era, where they didn't have PLEs or pay-per-views every month. Yeah. So it made the weekly television mean more. Or when they did have, the hard brand splits, especially in the Ruthless Aggression Era, they would have like a month. The first month was like SmackDown exclusive Backlash, and then the next month Raw exclusive New Year's Revolution, and they would have that month buffer in between for the opposite brand. So television did mean more. I mean. Yep. If you're going the route of a monthly PLE, I think that's the way to go in order to make your weekly television mean more.
Yeah. I mean, and when you look at the match cards too, like everything is optimized for like the broadcast partners, which means like shorter matches, quicker angles, and then a focus on moments to pop social media. It's literally a highlight culture now. That's what we do now, right? We go on TikTok and we react to these big moments because we want WWE to show us on their channel. We're not that on this show. I've already talked to you guys. Like, we don't do that shit here. But I mean, if it's genuinely surprising to me, I posted a video of me reacting to Seth Rollins cashing in because I actually enjoyed it. I mean, it could have been different, like to your point, Jarvis, but it did entertain me. Like, I mean, throwing the crutches and pulling the whole Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Baby, I can walk. But but it's highlight culture over wrestling culture, and that's a huge problem because PLEs should be big and stacked and must watch, and we're just getting the same recycled stuff. So it's nothing to even look forward to.
And the thing is, they're making money hand over fist at the PLEs, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I went to Raw a few weeks ago, and my ticket was like $200 for Raw. I remember a few years ago, like you could get in the build. One of the selling points was tickets as low as $20.
Mhm.
You can't even park for $20.
No.
And
Yeah.
now, so and so you're talking about that's just Raw. So now you're talking about
Mhm.
this premium live event where you got the
Yeah.
premium seats with the foldable chairs that the premium seats take home. And I mean,
It's a
you
mortgage
know,
payment.
it's
Yeah.
exactly. And then you have your super premium live events, your Summer
Mm.
Slams, your Royal Rumbles, and whatnot. Those are going to be super expensive.
The
Um,
house
so
down payments.
And so you think about, now TKO's in debt, right? Like several billion dollars in debt. So they're using WWE to chip away at that quickly because WWE, we can dog the product all we want. We can say it's formulaic. We can say it's, no shock value, but they're making a ton of money and they're
Mhm.
super marketable right now, and a lot of people have interest in that company, and TKO is exposing those interests. And it's why we have Slim Jim tables. It's why we have $400 tickets to go see Raw. Right.
Mhm.
It's they eliminated house shows essentially to eliminate travel and extra expenses for that. And they're supplementing that by charging more for Raw and PLEs.
Yeah.
We're the ones suffering. I mean, I do remember going to Raw on a $20 ticket. The same seat. Travis and I are gonna go watch John Cena's last show in Chicago, and those seats were damn near $200.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
ridiculous. I mean, and
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. And I'm gonna get into ticket prices. That's a point I want to bring up. But like, you used to be, at least under events, like, let's bring the kids, right? We're gonna go take the kids to see them. I know you take your kids, right, Jarvis? You take your kids to these events, right? Not
No,
anymore.
he didn't make it to Raw.
Yeah, not when the tickets are $300, and then you gotta
Mm.
buy their nachos, and then you gotta buy their drink, and then you gotta buy John
A
Cena's shirt
belt.
and a
Yep.
belt. And like,
Mm.
you literally have to be rich to take your kids to the event.
Mhm.
Like, you can go as an adult by yourself,
Yep.
maybe, but it's just wild, dude. It's wild. And
You have to be rich or go into debt yourself.
Yep.
well, that's the thing. Like, thank God for a firm, right? Like the little payment plan. But international expansion is starting to leave the U.S. fans behind. Now, this is a big one, right, guys? Because look, I get it. The money for these international shows is insane. Saudi Arabia, the UK, Australia. The site fees alone could found half of the year's payroll, right? But here's the thing: you can't forget who your main audience is. And right now, WWE's loading up these overseas cards with big moments and title matches, and U.S. fans are kind of, in the middle of the afternoon, got to tune in to watch it. And it's like, I got shit to do today. Like, I got stuff to do today. I'm trying to log in at 1 in the afternoon. My kid wants to go to the park. Well, hold on. I got to watch John Cena fight right now because they want to go where the money is, right? So, I mean, it doesn't feel like Saturday night must see wrestling anymore, and a lot of the matches are one off special attractions anyway that don't even connect to the weekly TV stories. So, I mean,
Hmm.
look what happened. Huge moment. The social media is going to pop. Brock Lesnar's back, right? But now we have Cena versus Logan Paul.
Right.
So it's like, you just want to do that. And they do that more at the international shows, right? So,
I mean, I think it all started with Saudi Arabia. They strike this deal, and the Saudis pay them hand over fist, and
Mhm.
they buy the show. They want whatever they want, and that's what they're gonna get. And so Dave Meltzer talked about, alleged this week that WrestleMania 43 is gonna be in Riyadh, and they want The Rock in the main event,
yeah.
and they're gonna get The Rock in the main event
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
because they're going to pay for The Rock to be there and entertain their people. And so, we had the European tour earlier this year, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the European crowds taught us how to be crowds in the US
Oh yeah.
because they come up with the chants, and those crowds appreciate those events so much because they don't get them like we do.
Mm-mm.
It may not feel like, Chicago or Houston gets WWE all the time, but they're in our cities twice a year, or at least every 10 months, right? And the European crowds don't get that. And so they go over there, and it looks great on TV because the crowd's going crazy and they're chanting Roman Reigns' name. They're teaching us how to cheer for Roman Reigns, and they're teaching us, all the different chants and whatnot. And they're paying good money for those shows because they don't get it all the time, and they got money, right? Um, so it's going to continue to be that way. And I can tell you right now, TKO doesn't give a shit about our schedules. So
No.
if they're going to be in Saudi Arabia and you have to watch this shit at noon, you got to watch this shit at noon, and you watch the replay and get the spoilers online during the day while you're at work. It just is what it is. They're not going to turn down those checks. And so as long as those checks are coming in, and it's chipping away at that debt that cheap TKO has. And again, UFC's a money machine, but not at the same level that WWE is. My son is 4 years old. He likes John Cena and Jey Uso and everybody. And then here we're 40-year-old men, I'm assuming somewhere
Yeah.
in that range. And we're watching the product, and you got 60-year-old men that watched it when Billy Graham and all of them. Like, do you have life, the fan, the age range that this product captures is just more lucrative than UFC. And so they're exposing that, and they're using it for every dime they can get.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. I mean, it's why you purchased it. It's why you purchased the asset.
Yeah.
I mean, international growth is smart. I get it. Business wise, I understand. I know you got to make money. I know you're in debt, but you can't alienate the people that have been here for decades watching and supporting WWE, because when you start focusing on where the money is, people like us might start tuning out. And we might say, you know what? What's in it for me? I don't get to go see. And if I do get to go see him, I got to pay $1,000. So
Hmm.
what's the point? And then especially when you add on the filler TV, right? So I get it's got to make money. I understand international growth is awesome. Like you said, the crowds have been amazing over there, but we're just focusing on that. And it's like, well, that's where the money is. Fuck everyone else. We're not going to why would we go to America? They don't even want to pay for our ticket. Well, it's because it's $2,000. You notice how my
Hmm.
amount keeps going up, you know? But,
Like,
yeah.
do I buy tickets to Raw, or do I get eggs? Like, it's life decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of crazy ticket prices, that was my next point. It's getting under my skin because the ticket prices are just so high under TKO, and they're not just creeping up; they've gone to like full rocket launch into the stratosphere. And you used to be able to take your family, like I said, to a Raw taping without taking out a small loan. And now you want good seats? Be ready to drop hundreds and thousands per ticket. Ringside, I hope you got a spare thousand laying around. And it's not just the WrestleMania Rumble anymore. It's for like SmackDown in the middle of the year. Is like ringside is $1,000, and this kills what wrestling has always been about: accessibility. WWE used to be that thing that you could share with your kids or your friends or your community, and now it's just becoming a luxury event. And I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
TKO sees a full stadium and they think we nailed it. But what they're missing is the fans who can't afford to be there anymore, the families who will never get that magical first live show with their kids. They're going to stop going because they can't afford it. That's the problem, right? Jarvis, what do you think about these ticket prices?
I started cringing when Triple H was going overboard with I get bad blood. We did a record gate here in Atlanta. Like, you're literally bragging about ripping these people off.
Yeah,
You're bragging about charging on average $275 for a PLE in a basketball arena.
yeah,
It's cringe. It's so cringe. Um, and it's one thing if it's a record gate because the product is so hot that you got like standing room only, and you've got record attendance is something to brag about, but record gates is just it's crazy in this economy. Um, you know, WWE was here in Houston a couple weeks ago, and my son was like, "Oh, he's been saying I want to go to wrestling, blah 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 blah," and I knew Raw was out of the question. I
Yeah.
was like, Raw is Raw is not an option. So I'm like, okay, let me see about NXT. NXT tickets were as much as Raw,
Oh my!
Jeez.
I haven't checked NXT tickets.
and I'm like, so you mean to tell me I gotta pay $170 to see Trick Williams? And I like Trick Williams. I love the NXT vibe. All that's great. I think Shawn Michaels doing great work with that with the people there. But at the end of the day, it's part of the farming system. Like this is not the big leagues yet, And so I thought that was ridiculous because I was like, okay, I can get us tickets to go see that, thinking it would be affordable, thinking, this will be something that'll be like $50, for a decent seat. But no, it wasn't. And no, I mean they're not backing down on the price. As an entrepreneur and a content creator and all that, like I get wanting to, you set your price, you live your life. You feel that, you have a premium product, you charge a premium price, but at the same time, a lot of your most loyal fans right now are young kids. And if I'm 12 years old and I'm asking my dad for, to go to Raw, like I better be doing a lot of shit right at home and in school because that's a huge ask.
Yeah.
Asking them, to spend $400 on, a couple tickets to go see this because it's not. So, again, I get it. I mean, they're they're selling the tickets. They would, if they weren't selling tickets, they would have to cut the prices, right? So they're selling the tickets. So until people stop buying them, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that's my whole point. Is under TKO, WWE isn't being run like a wrestling company anymore. It's just this entertainment asset, which does sound smart in the boardroom, but in the real world, it means the product is less creative, it's less accessible, and they're just squeezing every last dollar out of us. So we are buying the tickets, but eventually that fan goodwill that's been built over years, it's not going to be there anymore. Because within a year, like next WrestleMania, is it really going to sell out? I don't think so. Not if the card is like it was this past year. Like, I would have rather paid to see the TLC match on SmackDown. I would have rather paid to see
So dumb.
SmackDown than Mania,
Yep.
So,
Or the crowd is just gonna be filled with like celebrities, rich people,
Yep.
athletes.
oh, well,
I think that's what
yeah.
they're going for. I think that's what they're going for.
Well, it is. That's what the whole point is like it's a luxury now. Like
The top
they want it to be
5%.
UFC. You look in the
Right.
UFC crowd, oh, look, this person's here and this person's here and Justin Bieber, I don't know if he goes, but he might be. But it's like then they do it in WWE. Oh, look, like Lil Yachty's in the crowd. Like I don't give a shit about Lil Yachty in the crowd. Like get his
Hmm.
ass out. I hope he paid $1,000 for that ticket. I really
Nope,
hope so.
they paid for him to be there.
Yeah,
Oh,
depending on the
Taylor
city,
Swift
right?
in a box.
Yeah. Like the NFL's starting to do that. Taylor Swift up in the,
Taylor
you
Swift
got to
in
watch a
the
Chiefs
box.
game. Taylor Swift's going to be there. Oh, boy. Like,
That's always what I watch football for.
yeah, got to see Taylor Swift, right? So I saved the grand finale for last. Has everyone saw the news by now that you want to watch a PLE next year, you're going to have to get the new ESPN streaming app? And we've already talked about the corporate takeover, and it's sucking the soul out of WWE, in my opinion, right? Overproduced creative and safe storytelling, all that. But I want to break down this cost, okay? Because ticket prices are already one thing, right? It's ridiculous with everything. Now, if you want to watch WWE every year, and this is not for a cable owner, this is just if you stream, right? I wrote down the numbers here. Netflix is $120 a month, and that's if you do the cheaper version with ads, right? Not the $17.99. Just
120 a month?
no,
A
a year.
year.
Sorry, a year.
Okay.
Yeah,
year.
no, a
I would
month.
say,
Damn.
yeah.
I wonder who would pay that, but not me. PLEs now, thanks to this new shiny ESPN deal, 360 a year, $30 a month. Peacock, if you want to watch all the WWE library, that is 132 a year.
Is that staying on Peacock?
No, it's moving to
It
ESPN
it will
or
move, yeah, but they
yeah.
still have a rights deal with Peacock for I don't know how long, but it eventually will go to ESPN. And I know that people are watching right now, like, well, if you have cable, it is included. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Just if you're streaming, SmackDown, if you want to watch it, you have to get Hulu Live TV, and that's $83 a month, which is a total of like $996 a year, right? So it's like, how much do you really want to watch WWE? With you gotta like play a carousel of like, well, I need this app for this and this app for Raw and this app for PLE and this app for this. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. So now let's talk about cable owners. So your average cable bill is $250 a month. Netflix is $120. The ESPN is $360, and that's about $730 a year. That's if you have Peacock already on your cable, right? If you have that part of your package. And if you don't have Peacock, it's up to $880 a year with everything. So that's just insane. Before you could watch everything for the cost of a cable package or a cheap streaming bundle, and now this scatter shot maximize every revenue stream is it's just crazy. I'll go to Jarvis. What are your thoughts on this?
Man, again, as a creator, as a entrepreneur, you think about like, man, how can I have a content library like that where I can have so many companies vying for my content? So again, from a business aspect, you get it. Like, hey, ESPN is paying me double what Peacock was going to pay me for this content, and they're going to make me look more legit because I'm on a sports brand now, and it's a no-brainer. So, ESPN is going to make it seem more like a premium product than Peacock. It's going to look good. I would imagine you're going to have some cameos from some ESPN analysts. I hope they don't do color commentary or join Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, but I would imagine at WrestleMania you're going to have Stephen A. Smith or
Yeah.
somebody, there, right? So it's gonna help legitimize the sport and make it have that luxury feel. But yeah, they're stretched really thin. Yeah, I mentioned, NXT was in Houston, and I wanted to go, but I'm like, I'm not going. And they announced that Undertaker was going to be there to confront Trick Williams, and so I'm like, okay, I'll just watch it. And I realized I don't have anything that has CW on it. Like,
See,
so
yeah.
it's hard to keep up because it's spread. You got USA for this, and you got Netflix for this, and you got Peacock for that, and then you got uh CW for NXT, and then LFG is on Tubi, and like it's just you literally need to write down where all this shit comes on,
Yeah.
right? Or you can get a VPN and everything's on Netflix. Now, I would give the people a suggestion on what I do to do that, but none of those VPNs are sponsoring us, so we you got to do your research and figure
Nord,
out
come on,
which.
Nord. Come on, Nord.
If you didn't know, in other countries, US is the only country where we have to go to all these different platforms to do it. Every other country, everything is on Netflix. So with your VPN, if you get a VPN service and you do it right, hint hint, Indonesia. Indonesia is like your money country.
Yeah.
You do Indonesia, and you got NXT that's on CW is there. Your PLEs is there. SmackDown is there. Raw is there. And if you watching Raw or SmackDown, you don't get commercials like you do here. So you're watching Raw during the commercial segments, you're watching the in-ring action that's going on while they've got it blacked out, or you're watching the entrances that they've got on commercial, or you'll have these special vignettes. Sometimes they'll have these special segments where New Day will come out, or um the what's the Alpha Academy? Not the Alpha Academy, the one that
American Made.
yeah, American Made will come out and they'll get some heat or whatever. So it makes it flow a little smoother because I'm sorry, sometimes commercials kind of kill your momentum. It's like the general can save you money and all that, and then you're just like, get back to my show, man.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the other alternative, but I could also see that information becoming very uh to TKO and TKO finding a way to circumvent that so they don't miss no money because I'm sure the reason ESPN made that deal is because they're expecting most of those subscribers from Peacock to leave Peacock and convert to ESPN people. So there's going to be pressure on them to deliver, but if everybody's going the VPN route, something's going to happen.
It's gonna spell disaster for WWE. That's what I'm saying. And within a couple of years, I mean, and just look at America as a whole. Like groceries are expensive. Like I have to run my household with barely any money, and now I gotta affirm my tickets to or afterpay. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, I can't grasp like how much I would pay. I would go the VPN route, and I think that a lot of people would.
Yeah.
You're the streaming guy, MVP. What do you think of this?
I mean, me personally, it won't affect me because I
Because
have all this stuff. I mean, the new ESPN. I did say I got rid of my Xfinity. I did. I did get onto somebody's YouTube TV,
okay,
and I'm just paying him chump change every month, but it's a lot less than the 200 I'd be paying for Xfinity. I got the ESPN covered, hopefully. The Netflix, I think we have some kind of like bundle deal that we have on. So, I mean, all right, I get it. For someone like me who's got all the bases covered, it won't affect me. But those numbers that you spit out, it's pretty astounding
yeah,
and pretty ridiculous. And we all know it's about the money, this new TKO regime, but you're gonna bankrupt like most of your audience just so they can see your product.
which is
Hey,
filler.
better us than them to them.
Yeah,
Um, it was simpler times, man. For 9.99, we used to get all the
everything.
WWE
Mm-hmm.
content, man. Yeah, it was such simpler times. I
Yeah.
get it, that's not lucrative. I know that the product was not at its highest point during the WWE network time. But man, it was simpler times. But man, we could go back to I would pay $30 a month for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just WWE Network. Hey, you got
Mm-hmm.
all our PLEs. You go there for Raw, you go there for SmackDown, you go there for NXT. And
Mm-hmm.
that's 35 dollars a month. Fine, I can do that because there was a time where I remember being in my first apartment. My cable bill was like 220 a month because I bought every PLE
yeah,
or pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So
Um, Final question, and I'll go to Jarvis first. Do you think that if enough people complained and we actually rose a fuss, do you think TKO would change and like start being more accessible and start being lenient on the prices? Because I feel like if they would lower the prices a little bit, more people will come. So take that sacrifice on the prices of the tickets and all that and the streaming, and more people will buy. You might actually make more money.
no, the only way they'll listen is when the money is drying up. When they see that when they're not doing record gates anymore. In fact, they're doing record gates in the other direction. Kind of like the Evolution gate. I think only 8,000 people were there. But that wasn't because of what it was. That was just because Beyonce was in town. Saturday night's main event was in town the night before. It was just freaking wrestling overload. Everybody was over wrestling. I think you had All In that weekend. Everybody was just like, you know what? Fuck wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have my whole life wrestling. I think that's, you got to hit them where it counts. So, complaining about it ain't going to do anything, because they're going to be like that. That's the thing about wrestling fans. We'll complain about it and watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have to. We are, prestigious breakdown analysts, so we're gonna watch it. But
I'll compare it to when Roman Reigns won the Rumble in 2015, and
Yeah.
then everyone's like, "Oh, we're gonna cancel WWE Network." Nobody canceled WWE Network.
yeah,
And those are the same people that were mad that Batista won over Roman Reigns just a year before that.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, it's very much like I want it when I want it. I don't want it when you want
Hmm.
to shove it down my throat, right? That's
Right.
the problem. And that was the problem then. Now the problem is this is what people do. And again, you won't find that on this channel, but people do this. Oh, look, CM Punk has won the title. Oh, Seth Rollins. Oh, you get. That's all they do. And then they just hope to go on WWE TV and get featured for a 30-second thing. We break it down the real way here. We don't give a shit. And the whole like branding and Slim Jim here and that, you will never see us brand here. But make sure you check out our affiliate link down in the description box below, because we are affiliated with Fanatics and NFL Shop and NBA Shop and all that good stuff. So I am going to plug that. But any other final thoughts, guys?
No, I just, we see flashes of greatness in the product here and there, and then no follow up. That's
Yeah.
been my common theme, just no follow up. And I think it's predicated on the fact that it's all about the money. So it's the shock factor with, a premium live event with Brock Lesnar. That's what you paid for. Those people that paid $800 to go to SummerSlam, you got Brock Lesnar for your $800, right? Um, and you feel like you got something. So you're in the crowd. You should like, hey, I paid $800 to come to SummerSlam. I'm gonna scream when Brock Lesnar comes out.
Yeah.
you know. Um, but then, there's no follow up, and that really irritates me. Is like you have this opportunity to create compelling week to week television, because you do sometimes do pretty good things at your PLEs, even if it's predictable. Sometimes predictable is good, right? Like, y- because you don't want shit to happen all the time, and they'd be like, "Oh, that was horrible." Like, so sometimes predictable is good, but it's like, okay, you did this Brock Lesnar thing. Okay, well, where the hell is Brock Lesnar? you
Yeah.
know, or is Cena even gonna, like, now you're fighting Logan Paul, and it's just this half-ass follow-up to everything that just makes everything feel watered down, and we don't deserve a watered down product.
Yeah. Not for the
You
price.
that it could, because those same fans that may have only paid 250 to be at Raw deserve a premium show, and you got to give them that. And you know back to the foreign concept, they gave the Montreal crowd got Sami Zayn from Raw, and they got a John Cena match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That main event actually was, for a SmackDown, was kind of loaded. They got spoiled on that one.
They We don't get that in America. In America, it would
That's
have
the
been
point, yeah.
Braun Breaker, and it would have been Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed versus Damian Priest and LA Knight or something,
Yeah.
like. But the Montreal crowd got the stars.
And the unfortunate thing is, like, that's the point, right? Like an international show, like, let's focus on the crowd. What would have been a better show overall for the product, for us fans watching? You say that JC Mateo and Hikaliu or Talatanga, they're going to go for the tag team titles. Why didn't Uncle Howdy come out to fight Solo Sikoa? That would be a fresh feud. Wyatt Six versus the MFT, something you haven't seen, right? That would have been very good. But no,
Because
it
what is
was
Jacob Fatu gonna do?
right. Well, yeah, exactly. We need to
Now
have
we
him
got
go
to
through the
now we got to
gauntlet
come up with
again.
creative for Jacob Fatu. You fucking kidding me? That's too much. That's too much like work for Triple H.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you. And this is another thing. Here's what I hate the most. People that said this a year ago. Remember this shit? Let Papa H cook. This shit's burnt. Okay, he's done cooking. I'm done watching him cook. I'm done with it. Like, he's trash. The Rock is trash. All of it's trash. Like, it's just terrible. Let Papa H cook. He don't even know his damn way around the kitchen if that's the case.
You know, and I haven't seen all of the Unreal episodes or anything like that. I think I've watched maybe an episode and a half or maybe two. I've no, I've gotten up to the one with the not the divas, the ladies. It was focused on the ladies. I got through that one. But what I noticed is there's too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's like 10, 12 people in the writer's room. For what? How can you featuring 10 to 12 people? So it's a writer per person? Like,
Yeah.
because it's not that many people that you, and then you wonder why shit leaks. That's why we knew that Seth Rollins was coming. Too many people are in that room, and not, that's why decisions can't be made.
Yeah.
When you have too many people, that's why people don't get pushed. Because somebody's like, hey, why don't we put him against Carmelo Hayes? Who the fuck is Carmelo Hayes? Oh, he, it's the what the fuck, who the fuck is Carmelo Hayes person that screws everything up.
Yep. Yep.
And then Bruce Pritchard probably was like, well, I had good plans for this guy that Shawn Michaels invested a lot of time into, and we drafted #1 on SmackDown. But Nick Khan doesn't want that, and Nick Khan just wants, the Samoan dynasty on top, and it's too much. It's too many people. It should be like 4 people max,
Yep.
and then you bring in specialists. Like, you can say, hey, maybe Bobby Roode is a tag team specialist. Hey, we need an angle for this tag team. We're gonna bring Bobby Roode in to help us plan this. But when you got that many people in the writers' room, and then they were talking about, oh, for the John Cena heel turn, we need to call 5 people. We need to call,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
and then why the fuck do you need to call Travis Scott
We gotta
other
get
than to
Travis on the
show
phone.
up?
We gotta get Travis on the phone,
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I
that's
got
my
a.
final thought.
All right. I do have a final thought question for you so you don't piggyback off everything he just said. But before you do, to your point, Jarvis, did you see the part where you got Triple H sits back in his chair? All right, Mania. I think Punk going over is the way we need to do it. And they're like, well, actually, this is a really good idea that, Rollins should go over. Maybe Paul Heyman screws him and goes, I don't see it. I think that Paul Heyman screws Punk. Punk overcomes that and he wins. It's like, you're getting paid how much to sit there? And then you hear this big straw. He goes, yeah, I think Punk goes over.
He's
shut
trying
the fuck
to.
up.
He's trying to get into Punk's good graces, man.
Yeah. So I gave him a final thought. Your final thought, MVP. Speaking of Unreal, because this is also TKO. What did you think of the series? Because I know that me and you debated on the text a little bit that you kind of liked it, I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I was telling you, I don't think it revealed all of it. I think there was still stuff that still kept, under wraps. Not
They
to
they
try
were doing
to.
it they were playing to the cameras. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, but they exposed just enough of the business to let you know how the shit works, but not enough where, oh, now I'm gonna go run my own company.
Right.
We're professional bookers now.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I see it. I feel like again, this isn't a show for us. This is a show to bring in new people that don't know the business. It's not for people like
People that
us.
know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, I made a video on this. It just takes you out of the moment. Cause like I made a TikTok on this. I want to escape my reality. I want to just focus on something that brings me joy. And it's like, oh, Seth Rollins and CM Punk fucking hate each other, dude. And then you see on Unreal, he goes, no, it'd be great if Seth stomps me and then he watches me from outside of the cage as I fade away. And Cena, that'd be great if... It's just too much. Like, now again, I did like it. I mean, I will say I did like, because I just like all the content. I will just watch it to watch it, But I just feel like it takes you out of the moment. you know, it's one of those things. Undertaker wouldn't stand for this shit. He would never let that shit happen, you know. But here we
Bret
are.
Hart either.
No, not Bret Hart. It's the shits. It's the shits. But all right, that's enough. I'm done talking. We've had our final thoughts. If you agree that TKO is gonna put a hole in the boat and they're gonna sink, drop it in the comments below. And if you think that they're actually doing a great job, drop it in the comments below, and we'll feature those comments on a future episode. So make sure you check out our link tree with all our descriptions and affiliate links and all that, even though I just talked shit about branding. But other than that, we'll see you boys on the next one.